So ladies and gentlemen, this call right here is our leadership call, okay? So it doesn't matter if you're just getting on, it doesn't matter if you're not building yet, it's okay. This is a CEO development meeting for you, okay? And so what this call is able to do is this is going to be the platform, this is going to be the foundation to help you build a very large organization. When you get on this call, this is an investment into your business. This is part of not just what you're paying for, but this is part of the vision that you have to hopefully build a large organization where you are helping hundreds of thousands of millions of people. Of course, the goal is to have over 1,000 chairmen here in our business, okay? And hopefully the question should be, how can I contribute to that vision? How many chairmen under me will be developed so that I can contribute toward that while we're making history here in I Am Mastery Academy? So what that kind of segues into is something that I've been following since my whole, I've been over 25 years in the network marketing industry. I came from a business where I started off in Amway, and I had a very large organization of over about 30,000 people over in Amway. And then I came over to prepaid legal some years ago, over a decade ago, and had well over 6,000 people in that organization. And now, of course, I'm now in the I Am Mastery Academy. I admit, when I came in, I actually had no intentions of building. I actually just wanted to be a trader. But what happened was, because I believed in the services and the product so much, I felt that it was just detriment that I share this within my community. And so because of that, I realized I needed to learn how to, again, reinvent myself to build a large organization. Now, here's the thing. I could have taken it for granted that because I built large organizations in these other platforms that I knew how to do it here. But here's the thing that I found is that times are different. You must evolve with the times, especially with technology. Back 20 years ago when I was in the Amway business, we didn't have Facebook. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't do that kind of thing. We kind of did home meetings. Okay. And it was, you would write your list of 100 names, and then you call people, and then you say, hey, I'm having a gathering. Can you attend? Or I'm having a meeting at a hotel. Can you be there? And we would build that in the hotel settings. Now, of course, with social media just unlocking such great potential for you to have networks all around the world, now you must learn to reinvent yourself so that you can now take advantage of that platform. All right. And so with that, there's some certain things that you want to do to build a large culture. I really want you to think about this, because in essence, guys, if you really think about it, to get to, let's say, just the chairman 500 level, if that's what your aspirations are, that's 30,000 subscribers in your business. I need you to really get the gravity of this. That is some cities in the United States. There are some cities that don't have 30,000 people in this population. You're literally building a city in your organization. And that's exciting. I don't know about you, but that is exciting, that when God calls you for a mission to unite people of all different cultures and backgrounds from all different countries, over 100+ countries around the world, that you're able to now be commanded and have the mandate to build a city under your label, under your name. Okay, and have leadership like that. Some people in corporate America will never be over 100 people, will never be over 1,000 people, will never be over 10,000 people. But in a space like this where it's unlimited success, you can literally build a city and get paid from that. Okay, so let's talk about that. How do we build a city, Shawn? How do we build this thing? Well, guess what? I'm going to show you what are the necessary pieces to help you build your city of success. Okay? All right, let's get into it. Guys, if you know me, I love to do PowerPoints and have visuals, because I know people like to see. And if you're a note taker, that means you are a wealth maker. Okay, note takers are wealth makers, so understand that. So I have this so you can take screenshots, you can do stuff. Of course, we're going to have it recorded so you can do the replay and share this with your teams. Okay, but here's the key I want you to get today is building a culture within your team. All right, very important. Now, I always like to break it down so we have a full understanding from here on out, so you know exactly how to build this properly. So first of all, we have to understand, what is a team culture? What is a culture? Okay, so your team culture is the social foundation of your team, the attitude that's within your team, and it also determines the speed of your team's growth. Okay, it's determined by the culture. Okay, so it's just like anything else. If you're a person who tends to move fast, then guess what? If you're the leader of your team, then guess what? Everything seems to move fast. If you're kind of laid back and slower, guess what? Everybody kind of seems to move at the pace of that leader of the culture. Okay, now how can a culture be defined? Because I want you to understand culture. We throw that word around, but I truly want you to understand that a culture is defined as sometimes it can be created by the place of origin. You know, if you're from the Middle East, if you're from an Asian country, if you're, of course, from the UK, you're from Australia, then sometimes we build a culture on where we're from. Okay, another culture can be by beliefs. Okay, whether you're Christian, whether you're Muslim, whatever the case may be, sometimes it's the belief. Social status. Okay, if you're an executive or if you're a high money earner, if you're a middle class or whatever, some cultures are defined by the social status. And then, of course, we talk about religion. It can be the name of religion. It can either be the faith or it could be the actual religion that defines us. It can be also political parties. You know, obviously, wherever you're from, a culture can be within, the construct of a political belief. Okay, so all of these things make up the culture. All right, so I want you to understand that, you know, these are some of the things that help define that so that we can now start to see how we want our city to be built. All right. So now this is what I kind of thought of. What are the keys to building a team culture? Okay. And this is what I found. I like to keep things simple, but I really want you to understand is that if you can get these keys, then you can build a city anywhere. And this just doesn't work in IM. It works at your church. It works at your nonprofit. It works if you're an activist. It works if, you know, no matter what it is that you're doing, all these things still relate to building a culture. But today we're talking about a team culture. Okay. Number one is create a positive team attitude. I'm going to tell you that's key because it all starts in the mind. Okay. I need you to understand that when you sign up for a network marketing business, people are doing this on a volunteer basis. Okay. Let me say it again. People are doing this on a volunteer basis. And this is what you always have to remember. Why do people want to follow you? Why do people want to be on your team? Okay, because they have a job. They can go and, you know, they have a job, they have a business, whatever it is. They already have that. What is going to make them volunteer? Not only volunteer to join you, but what's going to make them want to produce? What's going to make them want to contribute to the culture? Well, guess what? You have to have a positive team attitude. So this is one thing and I know I have some of my team members on here, but this is something that from the very beginning was the construct of how I wanted to build my city. And our city is Team Wealth Builders, okay? And so within that city, I knew from the beginning that I needed to have a positive team attitude at all times. We don't backstab over here. We don't do junk talking. We don't talk about people. We don't gossip. We don't do that stuff. Okay? I totally make sure that is eliminated from my team because all of these things, guys, are team wreckers. These are things that can destroy a culture. Okay? So you have to set the stage of being positive from the very beginning. That means being complimentary. That means encouraging. That means inspiring. Okay? Positive. So if you have negativity on your team, you need to eliminate that. You need to extinguish that immediately because I promise you that will be a weed that will grow and it will destroy the team that you built. All right? Number two, you got to create a system of some sort. All right? Now, I always talk about, you know, if your upline has a system, then you need to adopt that system and then start to integrate that into your team culture. Okay? But if there is no real system, this is a perfect time for you to sit down in your notebook, in your pad and paper and devise a system. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what is the system. A system is taking a person from who you never met before or a family member that's never been involved in IM Academy, and then we want to bring them to where they are fully independent and plugged into your system, into your culture. All right? We're going from the beginning all the way to inputting them into the culture. All right? So it's it's sort of an indoctrination of some sort. Okay? So what happens is on our team, a person comes in, what we first do is we make sure that they have everything they need to go ahead and get set up. Okay, so we provide them with a whole list of downloading Telegram, of setting up their profile, and then downloading Zoom, and then making sure they go to the Fast Start Center, and then they start walking through the steps. We also have in the very beginning that they need to set up their launch meeting within the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay, and then we also have a new members class that you're going to be a part of. So all of this is how we start to bring them into our culture. Okay, the next step is we welcome them on our Telegram. So everybody that comes on, they get a flyer that tells them there's a new member, and then we put in a nice paragraph to welcome them and say, hey, we just signed up Johnny to the team. Please, everybody give him a warm welcome. And everybody on the team welcomes that person in. You see what I'm saying? So we're creating the positive team attitude right from the very beginning. From that point on, we're going to make sure that they're set up properly. We make sure that their demo set up, make sure the MetaTrader 4 set up. We help them put in their first trade so they can get a positive attitude that this works. Okay? So from that point on, once they know that it works and they feel confident, guess what? They're going to go ahead and have a launch, because they're not going to feel confident trying to invite somebody to something they don't understand. So you got to help them in the culture understand what they have. Once they see value, once they see what they're investing in, now they're willing to open their mouth and share it. Okay, we have a launch a webinar from that point on, and we just ask them to have their top 3 to 5 people on that call. Okay, we're bringing them through the process. After that, we're trying to secure their 2 for free. If they wish to go beyond that, then guess what? We have something in the culture that brings you beyond that. Okay? And from that point on, we also have meetings where we bring the whole group together. We meet about once a week. And of course, for each culture, it's different. Some people meet every day. Some people meet twice a week. We happen to do once a week where we pull our entire team together and we train together and we trade together. All right? That's our team culture. All right. And then, of course, along the way, we have different things that they can plug into to keep them in the culture. All right. So that's the system that we have. Now, you will have to sit down and develop your system. OK, the next thing is you must create edification. You have to edify the culture. Now, let's think about this on a worldly sense. We have all these organizations that are out here. And guess what? If you're in a church, and you want to talk about how great your pastor is and how great, the body of Christ is in your church, guess what? You edify it. Oh my God, my pastor's awesome. The word is awesome. I learned such. Why don't you come to our church? Okay. Or you're part of a nonprofit, or maybe you're part of some sort of organization. Maybe you're an AKA, maybe you're a Delta, maybe, whatever it is, you edify that organization, because that's what makes people want to volunteer and join your culture. So edification is so important. So if you're not edifying, then you're not contributing to the culture. You see what I'm saying? So you have to start to edify. Now, what is edification? Edification is saying positive things with a positive attitude to outside people that are outside of your culture. Okay? So when you share positive things and positive stories and positive accomplishments, guess what? It makes people want to volunteer to come into your culture. Okay? The last thing is duplication. If you don't duplicate in network marketing, that is the key. I don't care how elaborate you are. I don't care how great of a speaker you are. I don't care how great of a presenter you are. All that stuff is great, but if it can't be duplicated, you will not grow. You will not grow your culture. This is why companies, okay, that's why companies have an orientation. You have an orientation meeting. Then you have an introductory period. Why? Because they're introducing you to the culture, and they want to make sure that you understand the duplication, that everybody will be dressed right dress is what we say in the military, okay? That everybody will be aligned quite the same. Now, that doesn't mean you can't be an individual, but what it means is that everyone is following the system as closely as possible. Now, where do you get this duplication from? You get it from your upline. You get it from your upline chairman. They're a chairman because they've mastered these things. Okay? Now, here's what I tell people, and people on my team know this. There's nothing wrong with you trying to do your own thing, but here's what I'm really saying is follow the duplication process until you get to chairman. That's the least that I asked you to do. If a chairman 10 made it and you're trying to get to a chairman 10, don't try to reinvent the system beforehand. Okay? Now, if there is no system, then you must create a system. But if there's a system and you admire that system, you like that system, you're a part of that system, then take that as the foundation and build upon that. Build upon that system. Okay? Because it works. Now, our team follows a system under Dr. Jewel Tanker. And so, of course, and in another person, I admired the way that Camille Westmoreland built her system. You know, helping families. Oh my God, it's a great system. And so I try to duplicate some of those things from that system and we put it in our culture. And then we tweak and we adjust it to our culture and then we build upon it. But nowhere am I doing something that no other chairmans are doing. Okay? There's nothing in the system that no leaders are not implementing in their system. If you wonder why your culture is not growing as fast, is because you got to look at the duplication system. First of all, is it efficient? Is it moving? Is it something to grow? Now, that's the key. So this is the 4 things. We're going to move on to the next part, which is, like I said, duplication is the key. So let's really dive into this part. Is you must declare yourself the leader and create the culture if none is present. So now, who am I speaking to? I'm speaking to those who, I found somebody online, I went ahead and signed up, they never really connected with me, I'm out on my own. But I want to learn, I want to grow. Well, guess what? Thank God that Christopher Terry has an excellent educational system put in place, and in the back office, we have the IBO resources to go ahead and follow your system, okay? Hey, I'm talking, thank you. So, yeah, so then you have a system to follow. So what you do is you go into the back office, you go into the im.center, you go to the resources, and you find back there the IBO resources that will go ahead and help you duplicate a system. All right, hold on one second, guys, for me. All right, guys, got my little mini me with me, so you know he run around here. So, all right, so yeah, so that's the thing. So if there is no primary system, then we do have a system in the back office that you can follow, okay? So remember, this is a CEO meeting here. This is for IBOs. This is for people who are independent business owners. Let me say it again. You are an independent business owner, okay? You're not employed by anybody, okay? You don't have to follow, you know, something that's being mandated on you. What you do is you take the parts of the system and you duplicate the system for yourself, okay? But you want to follow the system at least until you get to a certain level of competency, which it could be at 1,000, it could be at 5,000 or 2,000, it could be at 5,000, it could be at chairman, okay? But you want to follow a system, okay? Develop a system possibly from your upline and fine tune. We just talked about that. And here's the thing that I'm always keeping in the back of my mind: make it simple, make it efficient, and whatever the system, make sure that it calculates speed into it. Because what is the phenomenal point about being in network marketing is that you can grow this faster than the average business. Okay? See, I know there's business owners here on the call, so you know exactly what I'm talking about, or you know somebody that's owned a traditional brick and mortar business or online business or whatever the case may be. So from there, you got overhead, you got licensing, you got training, you got all these things, you got taxes, you got all these things that must be put in place. And then you got to build the customer base by yourself, and that takes time. That takes time. Okay? This is why a business, the first 3 to 5 years, is struggling. The next 5 to 7 years is break even. From 7 on, you start to get in profit mode. Okay? That's a traditional business. So I don't know why we think we jump into this and think chairman is tomorrow. Okay? It can be very soon, but it all depends on your culture. It all depends on your system and how fast are you duplicating within the system. See, that's what I look at. So I get with my upline, Dr. Jewel Tankard, and we sit down, and I'm constantly looking at the system that we have, and I'm making sure that things are fine tuned. Hey, Dr. Jewel, what you think about this? Well, when we start somebody, what do you think I'm missing? I felt like I'm missing that we're not launching people quick enough. But at the same time, I can't negate that people are telling me when they come in that I want to feel confident about what I'm doing before I share it. So what I have to do as a leader is bring these two factors close together to where I can have a seamless system. I need my customer to feel like they are confident, so they want to share. And then I need to make sure that the system will immediately launch them so that we can have immediate duplication. So that's what I'm constantly grading as I'm going through my system. And then when we get the person in, are they moving from zero to results? How quickly are they doing it? And are they doing it at a reasonable pace? Are they understanding? Because what's happening is, guys, a lot of times you're coming in and guess what? You sign somebody up and you say, okay, great. We need to recruit. And I understand everybody wants to be a Bryce Thompson. Everybody wants to be a David Emanitier. Everybody wants to be a Dr. Spiller. Everybody wants to be a Dr. Jewel Tanker. Everybody wants to be, I understand. But what you're missing is that these people had systems that were put in place, and they just were able to push their customer through the duplication process quite quickly because they had a very efficient system. See, that's the part that nobody discusses. That's the part that nobody really wants to get down and dirty about, but that's what I'm here to share with you, is that if your system is not solid, you cannot run fast. So your study should be, who has a fast system? And can I implement that system in my culture? That's the key right there, okay? All right, so now, here's the thing, and I'm gonna kind of wrap this up because I didn't want to be this too long. Is here's some tools to help you build your culture. These are some of the tools that we use to help to fortify and build the culture, especially if this is new. So here's the question. So Shawn, when do I start looking at building a culture? Well, honestly, when I looked at building my culture, because I had a little experience, a lot of you have corporate experience, job experience. You guys know what a culture looks like. Some of you have nonprofit. Y'all have ministry background. You guys create cultures in other aspects of your life. So when you come here, from the very beginning, once you make the decision that I want to build and go for chairman, is exactly when you need to start building your culture. Okay? So whether that's a team name, whether that's a logo, whether that's a mantra that y'all say, whether y'all got t-shirts, whether y'all say the same prayer, or whatever the case is, your rituals, it starts from when you make the decision, I want to be an IBO. And what you're going to do is you're going to investigate and you're going to watch the systems that you're already a part of, and you're going to take those pieces, and if it's a great system to follow, then follow it to the T. If it needs some adjustments or you think you can make it more efficient, make it more efficient in your system. But the core part of the system needs to follow what all the chairmen are doing. Okay? It still needs to be sharing a video. It still needs to be three-way calls in that system. It still needs to be presenting the IM Academy opportunity. It still needs to be in the system. Okay? It still needs to be having, once coronavirus lifts off, still having meetings where we're having face-to-face stuff. You still need to have trade houses, okay? You still need to make sure that you're getting in the IM Academy, you're getting into the Go Live, that you're launching off your prospect. See, all of these things are what needs to be in the system. You can't negate any of those things. Now, how you present it is up to you in your culture, okay? So using the team app, you see that. Dr. Jewel creates and keeps her culture together by being in the team app. So guess what? Be in the team app because you're part of her culture, all right? Telegram. We have our own Telegram. This is how I keep my culture together. We also have a Facebook group. We also keep our culture together by Facebook. What's also powerful that we learned from the #1 recruiter in IM Mastery Academy was he uses the Facebook group to attract people to the culture, okay? To attract people. So when you expose people and they say, hey, I'm interested and but I don't really have the money, or I really want to do more investigation in this, I want to look back into it. Guess what? Create the culture for them to enter into, and they can take a sideline to the culture, take a look at it, hang around the culture, and then they say, you know what? This is a culture I want to be a part of. But if they don't have that snapshot, they don't know what they're joining. I hope that makes sense to you. It's no different if I'm coming to your church to think about joining. I don't have a church home. I'm looking for a church home. What do people do when they're looking for a church home? They come to church a few times. They hang around the culture. They see how the pastor speaks. They see how the first lady acts. They see how the whole congregation acts. Are they welcoming? Are they positive? Are they talking what I need to hear? And from there, we make the decision, yes, I want to join this body. You have to have something so that people can see your culture, okay? Now, to keep your culture together, we do things like Zoom huddle meetings. If you notice, Dr. Jewel Tanker, what did she do? She pulls her leaders, she pulls her team together, and they have huddle meetings. If you're not doing that at least a minimum of once a week, then you're not holding your culture together. And it's hard to build upon something that you're not even keeping together from the nucleus, from the very beginning. I don't care if it's only two of you on a meeting. Guess what? It's the two of us that's going to build this thing, the chairman. So if it's only two of us, it's me and my partner, then guess what? We're going to get together either every day, every other day, or once a week and say, look, how can we build this culture together? That's what we're going to talk about. Okay. And then guess what? 3 people come, and then 5 people come, and then 10 people come, and then 25 people come. And the next thing you know, the culture is being built. But so many of you are waiting until, when I get 30 people that want to do it, then I'm going to pull the culture together. Well, that's not how cultures start. Even if you look in the history of man, culture started from Adam and Eve. It started with 2 people. So guess what? You can start your culture, okay? Another way to keep your culture together is we use flyers and a lot of recognition. People want to be recognized. This helps fortify the positive attitude within your culture, okay? People want to be recognized. Remember, it's a volunteer culture. People are volunteering to be a part of your culture. They can go to any culture they want to. Why should they be with you? Why? Why should they hang with you? If they're not feeling positive, if they're not being reinforced, if they're not being helped, if you're not giving them assistance, why should they hang with you? This is why people have up and down in their organizations. I'm just going to be honest with you. We're having a CEO meeting here. This is why one day, of course there's back office issues. Let's not negate that. I'm keeping it real. There's back office stuff, but guess what? When you have a positive culture, here's the byproduct of having a positive growing culture. People will fight to keep their memberships because they want to be a part of something big and positive. Very rarely do I have to worry about a lot of declines. Very rarely do I worry about people becoming inactive. I do have them, like every other leader does. But guess what? It's not hard for me to go to that person and say, hey, what's going on? What's happening? And here's what I don't get. Here's what I don't get. Well, y'all just don't be helping nobody. I don't have no assistance. Y'all don't ever call nobody back. I don't really be knowing when the trainings are. I don't know. See, I don't get any of that. I'm just being real. I don't get that. You know why? Because our culture, our system is too inclusive. We cover all these things, so we have no excuse for people to fall through. What I do get is I ran into a financial situation. I tried it. I'm trying to get with the culture. I really don't have the time. That's what I get. And that's okay, good. That's honest. And if they have a financial situation, here's what I say as a leader. Well, what can I do to help you so we can get you back on board? Do I need to do some one-on-one training and get some trade money up in your account? I'm willing to do it because I value my culture. The question is, do you value your culture that you're building? Do you value your team? Do you care about the person that is going through a financial situation? I didn't say you got to give them money, but help them trade. Help them get 2 for free. Guys, we do things. I'm not going to lie. We do things as a CEO of our company to get to the chairman level. And we don't talk about it, so that's why I'm giving you the real right here. Have I helped somebody get 2 for free? Absolutely. I'm going to be first to admit it. I got a person that I see the drive in them. I see they're committed, but they got financial stuff going on. They got one person signed up. They don't have a second. I'm going to give them a second. I'm going to give them the second person. I'm not losing out. They're part of my organization. They're 2 for free. I just need them to stay in long enough to fight for it. So I'm willing to do that. Instead, guess what? I gain a membership and I keep a member of my culture instead of letting them drop. But see, in some cultures, y'all don't care. Oh, yeah, they can't pay. I don't care. Replace them tomorrow. Just replace them. I understand that. But now, is it harder to launch a new person and go through all the steps and hope they stick, or go to the person that's been rocking with you for 6 months and they ran into a financial situation? They know the culture. They have potential. They want to be a part of the culture. You need to fight to get that person back in. That's just my attitude. Y'all don't have to have that. I understand. That's just a part of my culture. Okay? When coronavirus, leaves and goes away and it's eradicated, hopefully, God bless it, then we'll get back to keeping your culture by doing get-togethers and socials. Yeah, it's great to get together to do the trade houses and do it. But guess what? This is what I learned from Chairman Jazz Williams. Chairman Jazz, he's my mentor. Okay, it doesn't matter our ages and stuff. He's my mentor. And when I first met him, you know what he said? I forgot about this, but he said, you know what? Me and my team, we get together. We go bowling. We hang out. Now, we talk about business. We talk about building, but this is a building culture, a culture building activity. When you start getting a group, guess what? You need to go ahead and start building with socials. Okay? When you get the green light on coronavirus, then you start doing that. Don't do it before. Okay? But guys, these are what helps build a culture. How are you going to build a city of 30,000 people if you don't do these things? You can't. These are the necessary steps in building a large culture, a large culture. You must have systems. Look, it's no different than building a regular city. You got to have a government, okay? You need to have administration to handle the people that are moving in, okay? You need to have law enforcement. You got to have order, okay? You're going to have some sort of police force of some sort. You have to have some system that when people want to join that culture, that city, there needs to be an infrastructure so that it can grow. And as it grows, guess what? Your culture grows. You get more leaders stepping up. You get more people that are speaking positive. You get more people edifying. You got more people putting people in your Facebook, more people in your Telegram. You got more people on your opportunity meetings. You got more people doing opportunity meetings. This is how you grow a large city in your culture. Okay? So guys, that's what I wanted to cover today. I'm going to let's see, we got good time. I want to go ahead and stop the share. And if anybody has any comments, questions, if any of my chairman leaders who are on here, who I admire and who I mentor on their systems from, please share. I'd love to add more value into this call. Nobody want to share that? Nobody want to share that. Okay. Any comments? Did anybody get anything from this? I want some feedback. What did y'all get from this? Did anybody learn anything? Anybody got anything, or everybody just knew all this?
Hi.
Hey.
This is Joy Shaw. I thought that was very powerful when you mentioned is someone having a hard time far as they had to drop out because of financial situation in these time of days, and you said that you would give them for a membership just to keep them in. I thought that was just very powerful and very kind of you. Yes, I got a lot of stuff out of it, but that just hit home run to me, because that's showing where your heart at. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Thank you. I see CEO Anthony Howe came on the screen. I know you got something for me, Anthony. What's up?
How you doing, my brother? That was an amazing training. Every single time, Shawn, I love when I log into these calls and I see your face. You always bring value, brother. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. So yeah, I mean, there's something that you just said, and Joyce just mentioned it as well, about helping your person out. What I like to do is help them out if they're willing to help themselves. Sometimes you got to get that balance right, because sometimes you can be wanting to help somebody more than they want to help themselves, and that always backfires. Yeah. And so you want to give them something to do. So if I'm going to help someone out, I'm going to give away a personal, which I'm very reluctant to do. But if I see that there's a cause there, if I see the person is coachable, I give them an instruction. Hey, give me a list of 20 people. You know, if they give me a list of 20 people, okay. So send this message out to the 20 people. If they follow certain instructions, then I'm more inclined to help you out because you're trying to help yourself. So I'll meet you halfway on that. And that's a very powerful thing to be able to do. And that's one of the main reasons why I joined this space, is because I can help people to be able to grow their business and achieve their goals. And so very, very powerful, Shawn. Love what you said about the culture. You brought a lot of confirmation to some things that we're changing in our culture at the moment in our team. And so, yeah, thank you so much, Shawn. I'm certainly looking forward to even watching back the recording as well, brother. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Anthony. Man, he's such a credible leader. He's on everything. He's doing it. He's growing a large organization. So I appreciate that wisdom. And that's it, guys. It's not just me. This is what I get from being a part of this culture. You see what I'm saying? I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly growing. I'm not there yet. I still have a long way to go because I'm going to chairman. So I need to rub in my culture with all these other leaders that are extremely smart, extremely talented, and you get to learn from there. Anybody else have any comments? I love to hear the comments and the feedback.
Absolutely, Shawn. Appreciate you, brother.
Woo, Ebenezer. I love when this brother come on. Let me tell you, put my notebook out. He finna say
something on camera. I just want to appreciate you again. It's always a pleasure to hear from you. Just the way you break things down, it makes it, you make it us want to apply it even more so. It's super powerful. But you mentioned something powerful about culture. You said about systems and actually bringing your own personal spin on the culture that's already been built so diligently. How do you get that balance between, obviously, your desire is to go beyond, to build, but naturally not everybody has that in the mix. So we're on a Rise and Profit call. This is builders only. How do you then build that overriding we're here to help people culture in the mix of people who are blended in, don't have that chairman vision? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Again, it goes back to what I just said in the 4 steps is when you create that environment, it's a creating of winning. Over here on Team Wealth Builders, again, now here's me. I'm just talking about our culture. I don't press building. Okay. I don't force that on anybody in my team, and anybody can tell you, I don't come to them, you're going to build, you're going to build, you're going to build. I don't have to do that because the culture is conducive to winning. The culture is going to empower you that you can trade, because we're very big traders here. We want you to get empowered with the skill set. And then we try to encourage you for year 2 for free. From there, when you start seeing people, now this is a culmination of stuff, okay? So when they see flyers in the chat, hey, we congratulate Ebenezer for scheduling his virtual launch party. Now it makes people say, wow, this culture really celebrates the little things. See, we celebrate you just booking a launch party, okay? So that's it. So maybe nobody shows up. Maybe it doesn't. But guess what? You got the recognition just by making the one little step. So now everybody views that, everybody adopts that, and everybody feels like, hey, I want to go ahead and, I want to fly. I want to do a launch party. I want to get recognition, you see? And so people will organically start to feel that way. And we put it in the conversation. Of course, we talk about sharing. So we substitute words. We don't really say building in our organization. It's a culture. Our language in the culture is a little different. We say, hey, how many people like to share with it? Who are you sharing it with? Who are you empowering? Who are you educating? You see what I'm saying? So now it's not you got to build. No, it's who do you share this with? Who do you want to help today? How many people are you helping? You see the language in the culture? So by doing that, it doesn't make anybody feel forced. It doesn't make anything, because again, let's go back to church. Okay, I'm going to keep our spiritual foundation as the guide for everything. And if you do that, you're going to be on a very good path. Okay, so when you come to church, we don't force anybody to get saved, do we? They must continue to hear the word. They must continue to be in the body of Christ. They need to hear and see. And because of what they're in the mix of, and how positive it is, and how the Spirit is going to come to them at their time, they will feel moved to do what? To go ahead and step up and get saved when they're ready. You see what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I like to build this culture with our team. Now, again, everybody does theirs different, but then in ours, we don't force it. We just kind of create that atmosphere. That's it. I'm gonna get all spiritual for my church people stuff. It's in the atmosphere. We put it in the atmosphere, and then guess what? People feel like, oh, okay. And then guess what? Momentum starts. Because when 1 or 2 people start doing their launch party, then 3 or 4, and then 5 or 6, and then you see what I'm saying? The atmosphere, the culture has now evolved to where it's cool to start launching parties. Okay, it's cool to trade and it's cool to launch parties. So I hope that answers that question there.
More than you can. I'm really glad you said that, because we've been doing posters because it's a team culture, but I didn't realize the power of the poster until a couple of days ago. I created a poster, and one of the ladies said, can you change the dollars into pounds? Because we're based in the, and I was like, well, she took ownership of this poster and said, this isn't you celebrating me, this is me celebrating me. And now she's now using that to attract her leads. And I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that, bro.
Yes, yes. Celebrate what you want to see duplicate. Thank you. That's it, Anthony. Appreciate that, brother. So yeah, guys, that's it. If you create it to head in that direction, then guess what? The culture will move in that direction. We see that you see in everyday culture. You see what I'm saying? If I promote hatred and I'm doing that, you're going to get a body of people that's going to feel that hatred and move that way. If I use it in love, guess what? People are going to feel that and they're going to move in that direction. You see what I'm saying? That's how revolutions happen. That's how, different things in our culture happen, because the environment makes it conducive for those things to happen. So the question is your team environment conducive to growing? Is it conducive to winning? Is it conducive to grabbing the trading skill set? Because I see some teams, they don't do no trading together. They just build, and that's great. They build. There's some traders that focus on the trading and they don't do the build. So they're a bunch of traders. So if you can find a mix of both and put it in your culture, then the culture is going to duplicate that way. Okay? We think over here in Team Wellswood that trading is just as important as building. I want you to make as much income trading as you do your building. Okay? Great. Thank you, Ebenezer. Great point. Anybody else want to share your thoughts on anything? Did you get something? I love the feedback, guys. That's why it helps me know what to deliver to you guys. So please don't be shy.
Hello, Shawn.
Hello.
Hi, this is Tanya Robertson. Listen, I am not an IBO, and I've never done network marketing, but everything you shared today was very, very important to me because it was teaching me how to do that. I never thought about being an IBO, but now my mindset is changing. I just wanted to let you know that.
Woo! Hey, y'all unmute and give a hand clap. Come on now.
Awesome.
Yeah, love that.
You see, guys, that's the culture working. See, this is the culture. We make it inviting. Hey, Miss Tanya says, you know what? This might be a culture I want to be a part of. You got to make it attractive. You got to be positive. And Miss Tanya, you definitely can do it. Whoever brought you in or invited you, I promise you, if they're on this call, they got you on this call, they're plugged into the right culture. So now all you got to do is just follow the system and do it as fast as you can. Okay? And you'll definitely succeed. Thank you so much for that testimony. Definitely appreciated that.
Thank you.
Yes, man. Congratulations to you for making that decision too. Anybody else want to add anything? Any chairman leaders, any platinum leaders? I don't think our new chairman 10s are on. Is Beja Boston on? I want to definitely recognize my brothers and sisters on that. Okay, they're not on this, but guys, if you don't know, Dawn $1 Million Wilson, she hit chairman 25 last week, man. Big ups to her. That is one of my homie sisters right there, man. She's another part of the person that I follow Duplication with. And then, of course, my brother and sister, Beige in Boston. Oh, my God. They just smashed Chairman 10 in the head by rocking the leadership board, okay? They're doing it. That's who you need to find out what their system is, okay? So we're extremely all proud of them. And guys, that just lets you know that following the system, following the culture will get you there. You just got to hang in there long enough to do it. You just got to hang in there. It's not that it won't work. There's too many people working to do it. You just follow the duplication. That's it. You just duplicate and duplicate as fast as you can, and you're going to get there. That's just the law of success. You're just going to do it. All right. So with that being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and close this out. Thank you so much for being on. It is always an honor and a pleasure to present before you guys. And again, I always thank Dr. Jewel Tanker for allowing me to speak on this platform. I'm always honored to be such a part of greatness that she is doing. She is a pioneer. Understand, guys, this is one thing me and Dr. Jewel were talking about. When she hits Chairman 500 or 750, do you understand that she will be the highest paid woman in network marketing? She'll be the highest paid woman in network marketing through this platform from this team. It is because of all of us in duplication that will get her there. That's historical. And so I implore you to find out what you can do in your culture, okay? And go ahead and just start implementing. Find out what the system is, perfect your system, be a leader, create your culture, build a city, and let me meet you at the top, okay? So with that being said, guys, I love each and every one of you. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for your support. And the recording, we're going to go ahead and get that out over the next day or so, put out on Team App, put it out in the, we'll put it out. Don't worry, you guys will be able to get it, okay? So thank you. Have an awesome, awesome day.
Thank you, Shawn. You do the same.
Thank you, Maxine.
Appreciate you, sir.
Good day.
Thank you, Shawn.
Thanks, Shawn.
Thanks.